Welcome. I almost felt like saying welcome to Thunderdome right there.
It is the third day.
And there's an echo too at the same time.
And it's the third day.
And it is the third day. So we're just doing this. We're just living the dream right now at the Zbrush Summit. Just living the dream. So is everyone having a good time? Yeah, right? People get some food from the food truck. I had some last night. It was fantastic. Don't forget to visit them over there in the parking lot in the corner. Okay, so of course, for those that are new to this whole event, what, it's not loud enough, Mike? I'm not loud enough? It's fine.
You're too quiet.
I like it out there. I have a loud voice. So anyways, the Twitter feed is doing great, so continue to send your questions in through that and use the hashtag ZBrush. And then continue asking the questions here and raising your hand. So before we get, Joseph and I get going on this, and showing some of the new features in 4R7, again, I just want to thank the crew, the people and everything, and also specifically Noman, giving them up on letting us use their space, and it's been great. Wow, that's bright. Are you trying to sweat me out over here, T3? What's going on? You putting me on tell me more. Okay, so I also want to thank, we got some amazing prizes, and we will be giving away some more prizes after, Joseph and I are done. Who's got the gold bracelets? No one's falling for anything now. They have do you have any idea how I'm going to give this stuff away now? No. Who's got a black chair? That's the winner. By the way, for those online, everyone's in a black seat right now, so it's funny to us. Now it's funny to you guys too. So I also want to thank 3D Total. We've been giving away stuff for them all day. They've helped us promote the whole event, which has been great. Andrew and Grace at Anatomy Tools were kind enough to give us some of the new female figures that were done in ZBrush by Andrew to the early bird registrants, and thank you all for registering so we knew what kind of people were coming to the event. It's always helpful. Also helped us promote this event and let everyone know that this is going on. ArtStation, CG Meetup, DeviantArt. This is so cool having an iPad. I feel like a kid. Hey, I don't have one of these, and I get to use Joseph's. So I just want to
He's got his fingerprints, and there's like grub on top of it. I think you ate on top of it. It's nasty right now.
I came this close to buying one this week, when I'm like, I'll never use it. I think I've been on the iPad the most ever in my entire life in these 3 days. I'm not lying. And my fiance owns one, but I'm never on it. I always just have the computer and burn my legs. Just sit, this is great, this is a great idea. Wake up and there's a big patch on my legs of just burnt hair. So anyways, moving along.
Day three.
Day three. Day three gets a little crazy. We are conferencing in full effect now. Okay, so we got digital tutors. We'll be giving away some stuff today from them, so happy to have that. Again, I know Carl's here right now, Carl Meyer from 3D Systems Gentle Giant. We've already given away, Wow, I've just noticed a new toy for me. Okay, so we're giving away, we already gave away one of the scanners, the Sense scanners, which they were happy that they presented yesterday for us. And we already gave away a cube, so that's pretty cool.
Michael, Climber, right. Don't go anywhere, Climber.
That's really cool.
Are these yours?
And then, the Division boys, don't go anywhere. We've got something special for you. And then we're giving away some more stuff possibly.
Don't go anywhere.
From them. You never know. Okay, we also have Pin Shape. We've been giving away $100 gift certificates, which I just saw Lucas way in the back walk in again, who is part of Pin Shape. So they're allowing you guys to go and even put your stuff up there and sell. And then you can get your stuff printed through there from Sculpteo, which, by the way, if you guys didn't notice in your email, Sculpteo is giving you guys 15% off and giving me 25%.
You're getting 25?
I think Thomas gets 50 because he speaks French. So there's probably something going on there. But anyways, no, but seriously, you get 15% off. It's been sent in your email with the promo code. That's good from the 8th to the 15th of August. Okay, so that's going on for you guys right now. You can get a deal. And PinShape actually uses Sculpteo to do prints. So we also been giving away stuff from You Artsy. I know we gave away one of Joseph Druss' classes already. We gave away Steve Lord's class yesterday, which he's an amazing artist. Such fantastic clay, ZBrush. His work's amazing. His username is slord on ZBrush Central, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure I got that right. I'm sorry, Steve,
if it
is
correct.
wrong. It's right, right?
Yeah, it's right.
Okay, I thought that was it. But you never know with me. I can't even pronounce names correct, so go figure. Louis comes up and he goes, dude, you were the worst at name pronouncing ever. I looked at him and go, yes. That's why when I teach my classes, I'm like, that's the first thing I say. I'm going to butcher your name. Just Just let's put that out there right now. And we gave away a Wacom tablet yesterday to a lucky one. I love the reactions when we give that stuff away. It was an empty box, actually. It was a joke.
We put some of Paul's books in it.
Oh, you want to tell that story? You want to tell that? Do you know that story?
No, keep going.
We're telling
keep
that
going.
story. I'm sorry.
Keep
He
going.
brought up a good story. So I have some retail background history in me where we have this electronics store in the U.S. called Best Buy. I used to run them back in the day, way back in like when I was in college and stuff, and now a little bit after college. But it's been known that people will buy product and just put like bricks and wood and return the product. They do it, and they measure the weight out to be perfect and everything. So anyways, so I got my Cintiq here at the office, and I was away. I was somewhere on location. I don't even remember. So the team thought, it'd be really funny. Let's pull a Cintiq out and hide it and just put the box full of just random stuff. So I don't know why I'm telling this story, because it's going to make me look like an idiot. But anyways, so in Melissa's office, they put it in her desk, right? And then that day, I'm like, I'm no big deal. I'm not looking to put it together. I walk into her desk, and like I'm looking out the window just talking to her, and it's right there. And she's like flipping out, trying to do this thing, trying to hide it and do crazy. I'm not even paying attention to any of this. I'm just chitter-chatting away with her. So anyways, then I decide to open the box that day. I open it, and it's full of just books. And me, I'm like, nothing new for me. I've seen this plenty of times. So I go ahead and email at Wacom and let them know, hey, just to let you know. Here's the dumb part by me. It's just because it's all ZBrush books from Jaime's office. And I'm like, to me, I'm just like so oblivious. I'm like, whatever. And they're like, really, Paul? Really? Really? And then they come back and they have it, and I'm like, you guys are jerks. I actually contacted Wacom. And then I'm sitting there emailing Wacom again. I'm like, so sorry, I'm an idiot. And they made it was a really good joke. It was really funny. They got me good, because I'm usually getting everyone else. So there you go. There's a silly story of me. Welcome to it. So we're super excited to show the next version, which is, you all know now, is ZBrush 4R7. Is there a 64-bit coming out soon here eventually? So what do you think? Should we show some slides now?
Let's show some.
Forget. I'm done with the slides. Move on.
I'm done with the slides too.
You guys
We're
know.
done.
Everyone knows what's going on.
Done with
Kill
the slides.
I think you got some stuff to show in ZBrush Central, though, don't you?
I do. So
Okay.
if you guys want to see slides and more information, you can come here. All the pictures and images are actually on ZBrush Central, and there's a huge thread started for all this. So we're not going through the slides. We're done with slides today. Day three. Everybody.
Yeah, day 3. We do what we want. We told the bosses it's our show now.
So the Redstorm guys that were just up here, they were talking about this Nanomesh master plugin, and this was a plugin that myself and a guy named Nick Miller created. And this is actually located on ZBrush Central as well, so it has like a little rundown.
What forum exactly, so they know?
It is in the tutorials, or the ZScripts forum. I got moved.
Yes. It's in the ZScripts
So if you guys have
forum.
never been to the ZScripts forum, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff up there, a lot of helpful utilities that you can just get and download for free that will help speed up some pipelines and processes. So if you guys are unfamiliar with that, go to ZBrush Central.
Or you could just look for your username, PiggySun.
Yeah, but there's
Where does that
other
come from
people
anyways?
develop
Why-
plugins too.
Why PiggySun?
I'll tell you later. I had a Cintiq delivered, and there was books in it.
Don't steal my thunder. That's my story.
All right, one more thing. I'm going to have actually, we got Mike Clymer here still from Redstorm. And
How good was that demo, huh? The
good
weapons?
demo. And I've worked with Mike for many years. I just wanted to pull up the
what's this?
documentation.
So it is documented.
Let's scroll down. Let's find it.
Oh.
Group Sporter.
Yeah.
It's right there, isn't it? Right here?
Hey, but you know what's cool? This is totally searchable, all of it, because it's online. So all you have to do is see this cool
Sorry,
search
Mike.
capabilities. Hey, Mike, the internet's moved along a lot since the 90s.
But if you guys are
this
unfamiliar, it's all online.
This is good. This is the online documentation. So all the documentation that we put together for you, which there's a couple of us in the company, myself, Joseph, Thomas, Matthew, and Marcus. And
we got a whole bunch
who
of
else?
people that go
I
through
think that's pretty much the crew. We put this together. Marcus has been the one working on this and has been putting this together and make this all happen. So by the way, this is an online documentation. It is available now. You can search in here too to find things. So if there's a certain feature that stuck out to you this weekend, You can go ahead and search in here, and you can probably find information on that
Another
feature as well.
good guide is this Getting Started with ZBrush guide, and you can just grab that. Actually, we'll see how fast it downloads.
Yeah, it's a
should've
PDF
pre-downloaded
that I put together to try and help people that are getting new to ZBrush. So for those that are never used ZBrush before, I would highly recommend this. So it's just a guide, it's a PDF, and what's great about it is I don't read. I don't like to read. I'm an artist. So we tried to fill it full of images, really, and links to amazing tutorials by the user base and also to the online documentation. And it's kind of set up to be, hey, just give you a little kind of, hey, what exactly is ZBrush? And then, hey, when do you start sculpting? And then now I want to start painting, posing, and then rendering. So there's a lot of great stuff. And with every new version, we always update this.
But it has a lot of just breakdowns and quick stuff of, this image used this image used that, and it has great works with tons of our community artists. So if you guys want to check that out too.
So Joseph just inherited this right now. And then Monica also helps put this together too as part of the team. So it's a lot of fun. Hopefully, if you guys have never tried that, download it, give it a spin, because I've heard a lot of people say they learned a lot from it. Oh, what is that?
That's it.
That's it? We're done?
That's it. We're done.
That's it.
Day 3.
Congratulations. Thanks for coming.
Day 3. Michael Clymer, everybody.
Michael Clymer, everyone.
All right. So we've showed a lot of the Keymesh stuff and some of the other features. We've only had time in these 3 days to show just bits and pieces of the new stuff we've been working on. So this is definitely a sneak peek. These features are still evolving. So, the stuff you see here will be getting probably even more advanced as we get closer.
Yeah, this is why it's tough for us to even answer questions of development of ZBrush, right? We're still working on some things, and we're still trying to make them keep pushing the element, and then doing a weekend thing like this also makes our gears turn even more, right? So this is why we don't really talk too much about development of the ZBrush, because we've got a lot of things that we would like to put in it and experiment with. So
here we have just a simple shape, and this was done with the actual Keymesh options. So the same stuff we showed you guys Friday. Was it Friday? Has it been that long ago?
Today's Sunday, right? Yes, Friday.
Friday and Saturday. So I'm not going to go into that stuff in detail. But what I want to do is I want to kind of just show you another feature we've been kind of working on to kind of take your imagination and do some more exploration with your actual work as you're creating art. So we have a new kind of system here that's called Array Mesh. And what Array Mesh does is it's going to take your models and allow you to array them in different areas. So if I turn this on, you can say I can start duplicating these shapes out. So if I want a whole bunch this way, or let's build some sort of Colosseum structure. So I'm just going to move these up a little bit.
What a surprise, archways from Joseph.
Arches. It's not military. Well, I guess the Colosseum could be
Really?
military, yeah.
I'm sure there's a hidden gun in there.
Just ignore that.
I'm sure it's like what was that movie, National Treasure? Pull this brick out and there's a gun.
So one of the nice things about this feature is that it allows you to modify one, and then any of the arrayed objects will actually be updated. So you can quickly visualize, different assets or scenes. So
what's cool about this, Joseph? Tell him what's really cool about it. I'm just interrupting him now. Sorry, continue on.
Let me talk, Paul.
I can't help it. I'm excited.
So with this, we'll work with all the dynamics of the. Just want to do, let's do 3 columns up.
Then you just have a friend sit next to you who knows nothing and just start moving those sliders. Population, people are like.
Morph targets is a good way to do that too.
Yeah.
It amazes people.
I think the UV unwrap's always the best thing. I always make sound effects when I show that one. Then you just have a friend sit next to you who knows nothing and just start moving those sliders. Population, people are like.
Morph targets is a good way to do that too.
Yeah.
It amazes people.
I think the UV unwrap's always the best thing. I always make sound effects when I show that one. I'm going to get sound effects in ZBrush one of these days.
So with this, we can also use different features. So we can not just use Keymesh tools. We can use any tools inside of ZBrush. So I can come through and say I want to put some pillars on these guys here. Well, I have a little scene here set up with a whole bunch of random shapes. And these guys were all created with the actual Keymesh properties. And if I look at this here, you can just see it's just a jumbled mess. Like I've just taken pieces, put them in there, scale's all crazy. And they're all separate subtools, right? So all the way through. So I'm going to just turn this into a quick insert mesh brush. And if you guys have not used the insert mesh brush functionality before, you can run it, and every single subtool is going to get turned into a new brush that you can then apply these different parts to your model, kind of like a kit bashing greeble effect. So this has been in for, when did this get in there? Was it 4R?
4R4. Yes.
So I'm just using this functionality here. You can go to the ZBrush Central. There's a whole bunch of documentation. We also have Z-Classroom videos on that, so I'm not going to go in too much depth on that. So I'm just going to come over here and do brush, create, insert, multi-mesh, and that's going to take all these subtools and turn them into a brush now. So you can see I have this insert mesh brush selected, and if I hit M on my keyboard, you can see I have all those parts kind of stored. So
that's
that
M
column.
for Michael, as in Michael Clymer.
So I have all these parts stored. So I'm going to go back to my actual little Greek structure here. And with these insert meshes and this array function kind of turned on, let's do a little more array here. We'll turn it off. So I'm just going to come through and just add a quick column to this area here. So I'm just going to make sure I have that insert mesh brush selected. I'm going to select my column object here. And then I'm just going to draw this out. Right? So I'm just drawing this column out. Now, once I let go, you're going to notice this is going to be replaced across all those surfaces. Right? So I can now edit these on the fly. So I can tuck that in a little bit. Let's make it a little bit smaller.
Don't even need to talk.
And while you're doing the transpose function too, another little thing, so I can do it crazy like this, or I can hold shift and it'll actually lock it into the axis position there, so I can get those arches to kind of flow like that.
Hey, I know we touched on it briefly on Friday, but the transpose line's got some new stuff too, really quickly.
I'm not
So
going into that right now.
I want to. I liked it, but I'm so excited
Maybe
for it.
in a minute,
Okay,
Paul.
Fine.
Come
forget
on,
it.
Paul. Me and Paul had a falling out last night. We're not really talking. Something about the Hasbro guys.
Yeah. Yeah,
You're
they're in here right now. And the glove. You guys will find about that out after us, boy.
All right, so I can continue just coming through and adding different elements to these things here. So say I want to add maybe even some of that nano stuff that we covered the other day. So I'm going to come through and just go to the insert nano mesh here. But actually, I need to actually turn a brush to actually use that. So I'm going to go back and select that insert mesh. And now I'm just going to turn this into a brush quick to actually use the nanos. And now if I hit M, I have a whole new set of tools here. I can grab something. Let's try this guy. I'm just going to populate this entire surface here with these nano options. So just drawing that out and then inserting them in. Like that. And you can see it's updated across all this array as well. So we can go poo, 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 poo.
See, sound effects in ZBrush.
And now I can come in and actually adjust these nano meshes on the fly as well. So it's giving you this kind of layered system of setup to actually go through and keep adding and keep modifying and let you be creative and not really, I don't know. Fill me in here, Paul. Fill it in. Day 3. Put some words in that sentence.
I don't even understand where you were going in the first place. Okay, but yes. Oh, there you go. So the thing is, you guys got to think about this, is he's combining now several of these new features on top of themselves, right? And it's about flexibility. It's, again, that key word, I know it's where Mobby's saying it, but it's creativity. You as artists could go places sometimes where you don't know and you're just going and working with it. So we're always thinking about, hey, how can we make these particular features work with each other? So that's really what he's trying to show, is that, hey, oh man, now I want to put nanos all over something like this. And then we understand that and making sure that we can give you something like that, options like that. So this is why these kind of events, and why we also enjoy seeing what you guys do, because it gets our gears rolling even more and other things that we could continue coding.
So that looks pretty good for one kind of section of this building here, but it's still a little too uniform. So I'm going to actually take this now and just convert this to actual geometry, because right now it's in an instance form. So I have multiple of these guys here, and these two guys up here are just instances of this lower one. So I'm actually going to come over here and do this convert BPR to geo. And currently in 4R6, you can convert a lot of stuff that is rendered in BPR to geometry, like fiber mesh.
Micro mesh.
Micro mesh, fiber mesh. So after I hit that button, it's taking all those arrayed objects, and now it's actually true geometry inside of ZBrush. So you can see I have this one solid object here. So now I can come through and manipulate these guys like normal. So say I want to come up and just Q mesh this top part here. And we'll come and do a flat island. Just kind of grow that out. Some sort of thing on the top there. I told you I wasn't going to get too much modeling, but we're going to do a little bit. Because it's fun. There. And I love this. This is my favorite.
That's your favorite new feature, I think.
That is my favorite.
I think you're finding ways just to use that personally.
I do. That wouldn't even be there on that building, but it's going there.
I think when we put this in, he cried. I think there was a moment because there was like a subtle pause, and he went, "Thank you."
So that looks good as that. You know, I can do it as a wall like this. I can do it as a wall like that. But what if I want like a Coliseum? How would I go by getting a Coliseum, Paul?
Whoa. It's a great idea.
A great idea. So first, let's mess with our repeats here. Let me make sure this is on. Let's give it a few kind of things. Let's go 16. And then let's lump them all together.
Okay.
Lump, 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 lump. Sound effects, Paul.
Lump, 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 lump. Just one what he went with. Whoa!
So you have a bunch of kind of options you can kind of use for this. So as you can see, just by doing simple kind of things like this, you can also shape find for different objects. So more kind of exploration of your creativity and looking at how these kind of forms, just like literally taking all these meshes and compiling on top of each other, will give you different attributes. And then with this, I can now also explode from that center. And as I start doing this, if I got the right one here. There. Where? What?
So again, you got to think of where he was starting with this, right? He started using array to get the base that he kind of wanted. And then to keep in mind, these arrays, again, are instances, right? So they're Joseph, I don't even need to talk. Just keep playing with sliders.
Sliders.
Just slider it.
It's not just for hamburgers anymore.
What?
Oh, bad, bad.
What? I have no idea.
Day three. Day three.
That's our excuse. Day three.
So, you know, I got 16 rotations on that, but I can also go even further. So I can update all these and just start playing with this kind of shape and is generating some sort of forms and shapes you don't really normally see inside of ZBrush, and that's now have a way to kind of explore those elements there. So I want to add another thing on this, one more thing. Let's see what we got here.
You're going to make them faint.
Here. Let's see what we got.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, we'll do one more. So here's a little, some sculptures, little cephalopods I've sculpted out, and these guys are all just Dynameshed. They're actually used for 3D printing. I was making a little chess set. Someday I'll finish it. That's the part of these guys there. And with the insert mesh stuff and this array stuff, you can pretty much turn anything you want into an actual insert mesh brush. So I can take this entire scene that has all these guys in. I've got different versions of them, and just have them placed there, and then just do create insert multi-mesh. And now I have a new brush with all these guys. So now I can go back to my little architecture building here. Let's zoom out a little bit. And let's say, you know, this is the cephalopod Coliseum. So we're just going to draw one of these guys out there, and then it gets duplicated all the way around. So really cool kind of things you can kind of play with to get different shapes out of your models. So fun stuff. Uh-oh, he got a little bit crazy. Let's try this again. There we go. Oh, too much. Anyhow, fun stuff. All right, so I think that's it. We're done, right?
No way.
We done?
I don't think so.
Okay.
There's more? There's always more. Day three.
Day three. It's like
This is-
T3.
This is when Joseph and I actually get to take over sometimes, which could be interesting, as you see. Hey, that's pretty cool.
So ZBrush You know, a lot of people that use ZBrush are based in digital, or not traditional sculpting. So we have a lot of our guys that actually use the tools, actually go through and end up sculpting, you know, before they actually get to digital in clay. So they're using armatures, they're using clay, and this is their main kind of function to kind of get their visual looks and feel. Well, this image you see here was done with ZBrush and Keyshot. So with the new kind of Keyshot, ZBrush to Keyshot bridge that we have, you're able now to sculpt in ZBrush, send your models over to Keyshot to get another look and feel for them. So we have been working on quite a few clay materials with Luxion and for Keyshot. And these allow you to kind of generate your models really quick in ZBrush and send them over and generate these images for like look development or just to see what it would look like if it was clay instantly. So here's just a few images. We're not going to show a lot because post them up. But this is all from ZBrush into Keyshot. So cool little thing there. Now for the process of this, the Keyshot bridge functionality, it's really can be used as almost like a sculptural element and kind of getting another look on your models. So here I just have this dragaroo here that I made. So he's got a little dragon in his pouch. I don't know where the fire goes, but
There is no fire.
wouldn't want that
He's
little.
a friendly dragon.
He is. He's not pink
Like
though.
Puff the Magic Dragon, who lived by North Carolina.
It is by the sea.
I wouldn't be surprised if you printed this out and gave this to Leo, which is his son, by the way. Hi, Leo, if you're on. He's my new best friend. I love his son.
So anytime you're sculpting in ZBrush and you have this ZBrush to Keyshot bridge enabled, so it's actually just another option you can enable underneath your render palette. And when you have it actually turned on, it's going to replace your standard BPR function. So the hotkey for BPR, if you guys have been using already, is Shift-R. So now, if I just have anything on my screen and I hit Shift-R, it's going to send it directly to Keyshot. So if I switch over to Keyshot here.
Documentation.
Documentation. The model comes right in, right? So here I just have the model in Keyshot. I have a simple HDR image loaded in, and then I have just a backplate image loaded on the screen. So I can actually come through here. Let me find my environment here. And if I just turn color on, you can see this is the model sent, you know, directly from ZBrush, and then I've actually just applied a backplate image and then matched the lighting with their HDR images, and then applied an actual clay material to the model to get that kind of look and feel. And so with this, you can come through and apply all sorts of different things. So let's see what we got here. We got a grenade orange, so you can make them like transparent glowy if you want to make them some sort of resin. You
could
can
be
do
a
that.
good Christmas present. I don't know.
Could be.
Everyone
So
needs
you have a
one.
lot of kind of functionality with this new kind of bridge that we have with Keyshot and Luxion. So I'm just going to kind of go through and show some of the functionality of this. So I'm actually going to buffer the view here of Keyshot onto the side, because this is one way that we've actually been working with this tool as we've been developing these new tools. So let's come up here, unlock that aspect, get him going there.
Yeah, this is, again, what we've been talking about all weekend, where we found ourselves doing this a lot, about wanting to have both applications open and going back and forth and being more of a design type of feel, where you're continually still working, you know, and just think about all the array stuff he just showed, right? You don't know what you like, and then send it over to Keyshot, kind of see what that's looking like, go back into ZBrush, and continue working, just continuing going back and forth. So it's kind of what Joseph's highlighting here, is that workflow, which is something we really enjoyed as we were developing it with Luxion.
So you can see here I have two screens up. Usually, you know, if you have multiple monitors, Keyshot lives on one of them, ZBrush lives on the other, and you just do this all day. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So just the dragon here, and as you can see, the general workflows that we've kind of been messing with is you'll come in and start sculpting on stuff. So the way you would normally in ZBrush now. And as you're working on the model here and you find, you know, features you like or just, you know, different elements. I'm doing a horrible job sculpting today. It's going to be excellent. And then when you're ready, just hit that Shift R and it's going to shoot it right over to ZBrush there. We got a little too much background there. Let me do a new one.
Discard.
Discard. There we go, little guy. and it'll update right on the fly. So it's a really fast kind of way to go back and forth with your models and work. Now, another thing that we haven't talked about yet is that we have enhanced the actual surface noise inside of ZBrush as well. So first I'm going to come up, I'm going to disable what we're currently doing. So let's come up here and turn this off. And let's go down to the surface noise tab here. Let's just load a little noise up. So here we got a little noise. Now, one thing you may notice, if you guys are familiar with surface noise here, we have the ability now, there's these little boxes here, and this is going to allow you to mix noises or blend noises together.
More than one.
More than one. So with this, you have the option to load in, textures and then blend them with a noise as well. And this is going to allow you to kind of create seamless textures if your texture is not seamless. So if you bring something in, then it's, you have that rough border and you throw it on your model and you realize you got those edges there. Well, now you can come in with another noise on top of it and blend that out. So it's a nice kind of way to kind of get these kind of forms established quickly. And the other thing we've been doing with this surface noise is we've been using it to kind of generate items on our meshes that you may not have thought about. So ability of just applying noise to get new shapes and new forms on your models while you work. So I'm just going to apply this guy quick, and first I'm just going to render this out as it would be in the current ZBrush. Oh, I got to turn off.
Or Keyshot.
Or Keyshot. It went right over. Let's turn off the bridge here for a second. Let me find the bridge. There we go. So this is what it looks like with just the noise. And this is basically just doing a bump map, right? So it's basically taking the values of the noise and it's just applying it as a bump. Well, this is great, but we wanted to do something a little different, So let's come up and let's turn on.
You might say we pushed the element.
Let's turn on this one. Now let's re-render. So I don't know if you guys can see the difference here. Maybe I need to get in a little bit closer. But it is actually displacing the actual geometry there. Paul, do you want to cover a little bit on this?
Yeah, this was big, because I know some of the people are even demoing surface noise. So for myself, when we were putting this together, there's a lot of times where you would apply and undo, or put it on a layer. So we put that now in the rendering. So when you render out your BPR, you're going to see what it applies, because kind of what surface noise is doing is kind of giving you guys a bump map view of what you're seeing. So when we rendered it in the version you have now, that's pretty much what you saw. What we're doing now is literally applying it as a displacement and pushing the geometry to what it would look like if you hit the little apply to mesh button. And if you notice, it actually goes over to Keyshot. Okay, don't clap.
So you can think about, all those kind of things you can kind of create with this. So you can do any sort of surface details. You can now combine these surface noises together, so you can have blending of noises, and then you can update these on your model. They also can be converted to real geometry using that BPR to Geo feature, and then they completely send a Keyshot, that fast all the way over. And this is actual Geo here inside a Keyshot. And you can see it's taking all that surface noise and applying it to the model.
This is the big thing. I got to hit on this again. This is huge because you don't know what your surface noise, if you're going to like it or not, and how many times you've applied it and you're like, I don't like that, and then you didn't put it on a layer and like, now what? Right? It happens probably to some of us sometimes. So this new system, being able to do this, you can just keep throwing noises on and sending it over, or rendering it in ZBrush or rendering in Keyshot, and then figure out, yeah, that's the noise I actually like. Then decide to apply it if you wanted it to. So that's really what made that open up to a floodgate of trying different things. So it was huge because I got a little obsessed with this when we started doing this and started sending a ton of stuff and figuring out what noises I liked and playing with it. And the fact that I didn't have to keep applying it to my mesh every time made me allow to just keep going and going. I think within like an hour I made 28 different noises, just going crazy just because I wanted to see, oh, what does that look like? What does that look like? What does that like?
The bridge you guys saw the other day in that demo, the actual surface ground, where it actually looked like there was grass shooting out of the ground, that was surface noise. So it was all applied like that. And so just some of the things you can kind of get out of those details. Now, another thing that's really cool is this offset button right here, this slider here. And what this is going to do, it'll come through and actually clip out parts of your model. So if you have a surface noise you kind of like, I know we saw some excellent demos with using masking to create like hollow shapes and hollow forms to describe movement and different silhouettes. So here's another way you can kind of explore those kind of elements. So this is also going right into ZBrush here, and this is not, if I turn this off, your model is still there. This is surface noise, right? And then now this will also render and turn to real geometry as well. So applying all sorts of noises. The noises right now, the ones you guys are kind of seeing are just more kind of abstract stuff, but this definitely isn't limited to abstract nature. You can come through, and the one vehicle that I showed you guys yesterday that had the big wheels and the panels on the side, all those panels were generated with this actual surface noise. So that entire truck was flat. It was a flat plane. I applied masking to the top so it didn't happen up there, and then I applied surface noise that was just literally boxes. And then I did this clip feature, and it gave me panels across that entire side. And then one click, and that thing went right to Keyshot, and you could render it out. So really cool stuff, yeah. Now, another thing with this, you can get really crazy with this as well, because you have the ability to kind of control the strength on this. So here's a pretty crazy one. It gets to the nightmare fuel type level. So this is one of those happy accidents you come across, and you're like, ooh, that's creepy. So we'll render this guy out here. Paul can sing, do a little dance. So just kind of the things there, like imagine doing like
Dragon to rat.
illustrations, you know, anything like that, you know, that you may not think about, and you get this kind of thing there. And this is all taking it and turning into real geometry. So you're not just looking at a 2D image. This is actually entirely in 3D. So now you can use any tools you want to kind of deform this a little bit more. So this guy clears up here in the render over there. He's pretty creepy looking.
It's pretty cool, actually.
It's like a wasp nest paper rat thing. And he's holding some sort of strange flower.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe put him on his back. He's passed away.
No. Not today.
You know where I'm going.
So another thing with the ZBrush to Keyshot bridge as well, let me do some undos here. Let's get his forehead back to normal. Is that this will also work with any of the kind of fiber systems. Actually, let me put that noise back on. Let's open up Mr. Wallmesh here again. Uh-oh.
Wow. That's a new feature. Do you really want to do that? So this is obviously, as Joseph's been showing and we keep discussing, this version is really becoming for us and growing into a version to really push the element even more and give you guys tools that allows you to even have more experimentation within ZBrush. And if some of the presenters themselves were even talking about they'll just grab a sphere and get going and start sculpting, things like that too. So that's some of the stuff we're thinking about why we're developing these options to allow that for you guys.
All right, so here we go. We got this guy back. He's all happy. Let's make sure we got our renderer set. Okay. So with this, we can also apply any of the actual fiber meshes as well. So let's go and grab this little ivy guy here. This little ivy fiber. And then let's turn on our Keyshot bridge. Let's see what happens.
And then you can build the house in front with the new version and you put that in your front yard.
So as you can see, all those fibers went right over as well. So if you guys have a whole bunch of hair, have a whole bunch of grass, just shoot it right over to Keyshot. So this opens another kind of large possibility of kind of just establishing your creativity, experimenting, and as you can see, no time was wasted in that. So if you want to experiment with the ivy moss while you're supposed to be doing something else, go ahead and do it. It's not going to take you that long. Play around with it. Play around with it. And you can get even, back to the kind of experimenting type aspect, you've got all these just default fibers in here, and you can get some, let's see, where was that? There was one that was really cool.
This is when you tell your boss that it's taking you 8 hours to do this. that's this time. That's what
I can't remember which one it was. I think I wrote it down.
Which one are you looking for?
I don't know. I had one that had like all sorts of crazy. It was like, there we go. This one. That one's kind of cool. We're going to let that one.
This is the worm one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send that one over. We'll let that one over there sit and cook for a little bit. Sit him over here.
Yeah, totally.
Let him render out over there. All right, so now we've shown that you have the ability to do the surf noise that is now doing this kind of displacement feature. We also have the fiber stuff. And once again, you can always convert any of these things to actual geometry for use elsewhere by just going to the geometry tab here and doing convert BPR to geo. Now let's go back here and let's turn off that actual fiber. Now I want to go talk about a little bit more about this kind of Nanomesh functionality that we've kind of been using. So the Nanomeshes, we were showing them for, say, the bridge, of establishing like geometry and terrain. Also, just coming up with different kind of forms or, tiling type elements. But another thing you can use this Nanomesh system for is surface variations or surface details. So here I just have the version of the Dragaroo here. And I'm just going to come through and go to my modeler brush here. And I'm just going to come over a face here. And I'm actually just going to select this insert Nanomesh option and then just draw one of these guys out. Actually, I need to do. And so it's going to fill him entirely with this square now. So now I can come through and manipulate this. So I can change the size of this, I can change the width, I can change the distribution, and you can end up getting some really interesting kind of even just surface effects on your actual model. So you can see this will generate some really cool stuff you can possibly use. And then once again, this can all be converted to actual geometry. So I'm just going to come through and play with some of these sliders here. So we were messing with stuff like scales and things like that as well. So you can just literally take a model, make a one scale brush, and then just cover the entire surface of your model in these kind of scale shapes. So really interesting thing there. Now with this kind of option 2, they all go to Keyshot, all gets rendered out. But you can also edit these shapes on the fly. So right now I just have him, the whole dragon here is just filled with a simple cube. Well, if you come up here and do this edit Nanomesh here, you're actually going to get that cube as its own tool, or it's like isolated basically. So now I can come in and use any of the existing functionalities that we were kind of showing you guys the past 2 days here, and just kind of add this to the model here. So I'm just going to come through and just add some edge loops here, and then I'm going to do my favorite thing. I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
Shocking.
So something like that, and we'll just punch a hole through this. So something like that. Now I can actually take this, and now if I go back to this Nanomesh option here and come back out of it, that wasn't a real great example. You can't see the hole. It's there, I'm telling you.
Believe them.
Let's turn down the random.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. And once again, you're not limited. When you're in this actual mode here, you can use any of the ZBrush tools that are inside ZBrush. So if you want to put an insert mesh on top of your edited nanomesh that's nanomeshed on your actual object, you can do that. So it has a lot of flexibility and a lot of functionality to generate these kind of items. I'm trying to think if there was...
You know what one of my favorite features is? Replay last.
Oh, yes.
I really enjoy that feature,
I did
Joseph.
forget this one. Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
We're not taking questions.
So let's see what we got here. So back to just kind of the sculpting item here. So we've added, I don't know if anybody familiar with Replay Last? Anyone? Michael Clymer, he demonstrated it. So normally you can do this, and then you just hit 1, and it'll just kind of heighten that, right? So it's just doing it on top of itself, right? Well, we've added the functionality where it's actually going to be relative now. So this is going to allow you to record a stroke and then play it elsewhere. And you can also...
Multiple strokes.
Multiple strokes.
Multiple strokes. Inventory is there right now.
So say you have a model like this and you want to do some sort of hair or some sort of, kind of items, and it's really tedious to do hair and fur. Like, you end up spending so much time. If you guys watched Grassetti's demonstration, like, you can tell even as fast as he is, it was going to take him a little bit of time to get through all that kind of hair there. So with this, you can just come through and start sculpting, your little kind of hair area here. And then just go where else you want to go, and then it'll just draw it out again. So yeah, let's cut that time now. Let's just do this. You can do this all day too. It's like worms are coming out, like maybe little tremors. And just
it
keep
opens
going.
up so many more things. I've been using it with the slicing brushes too, as I'm putting different shapes and slicing, and just boop, go anywhere else and hit the hotkey, and then get that same exact slicing. Multiple slices at once. So
Alpha placement, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, it's definitely it's been a time saver for sure for just coming through and it goes really fast. I think you can just keep doing it. I'm just hovering.
Yeah, so he's just hovering right now, picking where he wants and clicking the shortcut.
Slamming the keyboard over here. If this keyboard wasn't quiet, it'd be so loud in here right now.
It's beautiful there.
And then let's send it to Keyshot. Let's send it to Keyshot.
Why not?
There we go. See if you have it? Yeah.
There you go.
But that's just so. That's
now
simple.
it looks like leeches.
I think that's all we got.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot more stuff as well. We're just kind of just want to give you guys a sneak preview of what we've been demonstrating. And we're really excited about all the stuff that's in here, and we're looking forward to getting into your guys' hands and trying it out. You got anything else? No?
Now for my funnest part of the show, awkward silence. Okay, we're back. We're giving away some prizes.
That was the television break, was what that was.
Yeah, that was a commercial break. I'm super excited to see because we've done gold bracelets.